So the question is real estate mindset lying about the housing market? Is a housing crash really coming? Is my channel, everything that I've been saying, are we completely just making this stuff up? We know realtors and other YouTube pundits, everybody is saying, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Housing prices are going to continue to go up. Well, we're going to answer this question. And I have my great friend on here, Real Estate Mindset, on. And I just want to say first, man, thanks for coming onto the platform. I welcome you with open arms. I know our audience will love this.
Hey man, I appreciate you inviting me. Everyone, just want to say real quick, settle down on the title. We're basically here to discuss a lot of rumors out there. Is that right, Orlando?
That's right. That's right. That's right. but man, this has been going on for a while. Individuals, especially these realtors,
Yeah, yeah,
have been
yeah.
saying things like, "Oh, they're wrong. They don't know what they're talking about," and all this other. And we're just gonna kind of get to the point to kind of find out exactly what's going on with the housing market. And I wanted to bring you on so that we can discuss that and have a really great discussion about that. But before we even talk about that, guys, listen, you need to go to Real Estate Mindset's channel and check out his channel. Take a look at it right here. I'm putting it on the screen. You guys, he gives great information. He entertains and gives you the info that you need to keep up on the housing market. And I promise you, you go over there, you will not be disappointed. But let's go ahead and jump into it. And this is the deal. Were you wrong about the housing market crashing?
I was wrong about certain things, Orlando, but to say that I
Mm-hmm.
was wrong about the housing market crashing, I think is a little bit immature of people to
Mm,
say and for people to make videos about. And I say that because it's a cycle. I may be off on some of the timing that I said, Orlando, but that doesn't mean that the housing market's not crashing, and that doesn't mean that house price values aren't going down right now. Essentially
mm,
what's happened is we hit price decline basically starting around July of 2022. The price decline was was rapid. The price decline was faster than the last financial collapse. And what happened after about 7 months is the home values, essentially call it what you want, dead cat bounce,
mm,
rebounded. So we had a rebound of only 4 months. The rebound's dead. It's done now. And essentially, and it lasted less than 5 months. And what I find intriguing, Orlando, if we really go back and look at values, let's look at
mm.
Case Shiller. And if we look at that last great financial collapse, you can note that in 2006, okay, 2006, right before the collapse, we had 4 months of negative equity or loss of
Mm,
value. Again, in 2006, around the mid part of the year, 4 months of decline. Now, that was followed up by 7 months of price rebound. And then, obviously, we know what happened. Essentially, 2 years of home values going straight down. Now, if we look and compare that to what's going on with today, we had 7 months of value decline, followed by less than 5 months of value rebound. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is there's still a likelihood that the price crash, and I'm talking specifically about prices, that the
mm-hmm.
price declines depending on the metro area can still exceed 2008, although way different situation. We're talking
Right.
specifically about price decline. So I would say this. I would say that we're still on the journey. We're still on the plane ride, this whole soft landing thing. So it's
Mm,
really premature to celebrate anyone being right. But again, regardless of who's right and who's wrong, when we look at the data, Orlando, we know, despite what side of the coin you're on, that home values on average went up 50% in 2.5 years. We know
right.
that unaffordability is worse than 2008. We know certain things right now that have happened that we don't have to guess. And one thing that I find extremely important, okay, despite what side of the coin you're on, if you want to listen to realtors, if you want to listen to us that are way more cautious about your money and investing your money, listen to the recent homeowners, listen to the people that purchased, listen to the people that traded their
Mm,
essentially peaceful life where they were able to save money, they were able to
right.
invest in real estate, they traded that in, Orlando, and bought into the American dream. And now we have buyer's remorse surveys that show over 90% of buyers regret. So the whole concept right now of the American dream of home ownership is tainted
Right.
and it's broken and it was institutionalized. And right now I feel like the investing is toxic. And we don't have to guess at some of these things.
Well, one of the things that I do want to include in there that I do want to say is that I agree with you. I think that there's too many individuals out there that are asking you to, and when I say asking you, I'm talking about you got individuals who want to buy a home that are saying to you, "Hey, don't worry, guys. Go ahead and overpay. Go ahead and everything will just work out. Pay a high interest rate because in 4 to 3, 5, 6, 8 years." You will make so much more money rather than renting. And I just think, and it just boggles me that an individual would throw their financial life away by overpaying. The action is in the word. You're overpaid, right? It's telling you you're overpaid. And if you're going to overpay, knowing that you're going to overpay, can you really get mad at 3 years or 2 years when home prices go down and you're upside down and it's going to take you 5 to 6 years to regain that back? No, you can't. And for a lot of these guys that are telling individuals right now, I just think it's crazy. I think you should always be cautious. You don't think, guys, listen to me. You don't think that you should be cautious on the biggest purchase of your life. Do you not think that? You should. And anyone telling you not to be cautious and saying, "Oh, you should just go in head first, don't even worry about it, it's all going to work out." That's crazy. And that's what I'm starting to see from a lot of these guys that are telling you guys. There's no caution at all into it. They're just pushing you and pushing you straight off of a cliff. So that's something that I wanted to add really quickly. You have anything to add to that?
I mean, I'm really not surprised anymore, Orlando. I mean, the job of a realtor is to sell a house. The job of a realtor is not to tell people not to buy. So obviously, a lot of these professionals, and I want to stay neutral talking about realtors
Right.
as much as they attack me. A job of a realtor again is to sell a property, and a lot of them, their livelihood depends on their commission-only job. So I understand the need in their minds to cheerlead. My gripe with all of that is the cheerleading, the reckless optimism is causing these 93% buyer's remorse surveys. They're too busy cheerleading instead of talking about what did the 7% of people do to enjoy home ownership, right? Stop the cheerleading, use the data to find the deal. And we shouldn't be surprised, and that's why I'm really trying to shine a light on that situation. I hate to use any names because when we use names of realtors or other channels that it's
Right.
kind of garbage. We understand they're trying to get
Right.
leads. We help them. So I don't want to use any names, but the reality is, Orlando, and you know this yourself, especially on YouTube, generally, if you guys are watching a realtor YouTube channel, the whole reason they even have that channel is to get you to call them, is to get you to email them. It's a lead generating platform. So obviously they're going to say whatever they need to say to get their phone to ring. I mean, it's really easy concept to understand. Now, I'm not saying that makes me right about everything, Orlando. I'm
Of
just
course.
saying that there's obviously a financial bias there. And when the housing market's balanced and there's plenty of opportunity, by all means, recklessly cheerlead. But when we have situations with massive equity run up, M2 money supply is going down at the same time as quantitative tightening, massive inversion of the yield curve, credit card debt going up almost over $250 billion in just 2 years, defaults in automotives, about 60% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, commercial real estate meltdown. I mean, I think it's time to say time out for a second. Let's talk about something other than just buy. Home values go up. If you listen to the crash bros, you lose $50,000. I mean, dude, the garbage titles we see out there, these are people that are desperate. And they're
Right.
desperate to get the attention that they once had 2 years ago when it was prime home buying season. Now that that time is over, they don't know what to do. So they're left with their mouths gaping open. And here's the reason their channels are dying, Orlando. Consumers are smart enough to know that all they are is glorified pizza delivery men and women. Next question.
Domino's pizza. Oh, this is my turn. Since we're talking about that, why do you think that a lot of these individuals that are talking about saying this and that and saying and pushing individuals to push to buy a house, why are they pushing to buy a house and saying that forget about the red flags, forget about what's going on in the economy, forget about strikes that are happening, the layoffs that are happening, the commercial real estate, insurance going up. Why is there a big need to just cover your eyes and just march forward?
I think for most realtors, the biggest enemy of most realtors, Orlando, is an educated consumer. Now, to answer your
Mm,
question, I think that there's, different reasons why we're seeing that. Obviously, there's one on one hand, we have realtors that their money, flow is down greatly. They are making a lot less money. They're
for
desperate.
sure.
They're doing, everything they can think of to try to get attention, to try to convince people it's still time to buy. I mean, they're literally saying the same thing they've been saying for 5 years in the face of all of these changes. So it's pretty useless. And then on the other hand, you have realtors that they just don't know any better, man. I mean, if
Yeah.
we really look at this, most young adults, including, I don't want to call myself a young adult. Maybe I'm trying to flatter myself, but I've never went through anything like this where, the Federal Reserve created this inflationary situation. And then I've never gone through this. This is a really
Right.
wild situation. So to say the same things over and over and over again, it's completely ridiculous. So I think that there is a level of, the realtors just don't know any better. And my main job, man, it gives me the ability to go in my community into these realtor shops and to look at I mean, I put my money where my mouth is. I'm facing my peers and listen to listen to what I'm saying, but it gives me the ability to look at realtors and say, stop the toxic cheerleading. Consumers need you to consult them. Use the data to find the deal. And they get it. Every one of these realtors understands how emotional consumers get. And honestly, I think what
Right.
we're seeing right now, as far as the rebound in prices, which only lasted less than 5 months, it's actually going down on average now, is we saw consumers that they lost hope. We saw a lot of consumers that lost
Mm,
hope, and we saw consumers that didn't have goals. And when we're consumers on the sideline and we lose hope and we don't have our goals shaping our approach, we're going to get caught up in the wind, man. And I feel like it's really possible that we saw a lot of that. And when we deal with cheerleaders, toxic cheerleaders, all that's going to happen if people go to buy a house is it's going to enhance that already toxic attitude to buy.
I agree on that notion, right? I don't see anything wrong with having caution, right? I don't see anything wrong with looking at both sides and then coming up with a determination what's best for you and your family. I don't see anything wrong with that. But to say to an individual, "Hey, you have no other choice. If you are ridiculous, you're dumb if you do not buy a
Yeah.
house. You have to buy a house. You if you don't buy a house, you are missing out on the greatest opportunity in the last 15, 20 years." That's crazy.
It's
That's
crazy and it's
crazy.
reckless. It is. It's crazy and it's reckless, and they know what they're doing. And again, I don't want to knock every realtor, Orlando. I want to give
Of
credit
course
where credit
not.
is due. I
Of course.
know, realtors that are sacrificing their life, putting their entire life into real estate. That they blow me away, and I ask myself, why are you doing this? Do you take any time for yourself? So there are realtors that are great, man, but I'm just talking about the odds here, man. And some of this stuff is bad. They know what they're doing. They know how to take advantage of people's insecurities. And and when people lose the hope, Orlando, and they don't have those goals, it's just shooting fish in a barrel. Everyone wants the American dream of home ownership. It's a rare situation for it to be so toxic. And in fact, again, I go back to the fact that a lot of young adults, they don't know what to expect. And a lot of young adults want to be told it's time to buy. So they will gravitate towards the professional that says, that basically tells them what they want to hear. And and people say all
Right,
the time
right,
to me, Orlando, like, Travis, you're just telling people what they want to hear. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not telling people what they want to hear. What they want to hear is it's time to buy. Here's my phone
right.
number. Let me help you in Houston. That's what they want to hear. All
That's
right.
what the
So,
right, right.
and I see it happen, man. I mean, I'm in the ditches. I'm a professional. I see it happen all the time. I'll explain something to a consumer. This is my worry. You're overextending yourself. Your debt to income ratio is 57%. You have overwhelming amount of credit card debt. Maybe you should pay your debt off first, save more money. And they'll like, oh, okay, thank you for your honesty, Travis. Click, go to the next, professional that says, yeah, let's go, send it, max it out, and let's find your house, baby, and just refinance later. It's so reckless, Orlando. There's so much people don't realize about real estate. One of the things is how expensive it is to refinance and to sell your house. It's extremely expensive, and it's also extremely dangerous. And people, almost no one, Orlando, almost zero people prepare for job loss. Almost 100% of homeowners are blindsided by it.
Yeah, and I want to add into that, and you're 100% right about that. Is when it comes to the job losses, I've been notating that on my channel and on my videos, constantly. Make sure that before you decide that you want to jump into the biggest purchase of your life,
Yeah.
make sure that your job is stable. Make sure you don't have a strike looming. Make sure you don't have all these factors coming in, and that you're going to be in a situation where you overpaid for a home, and it's the highest interest that's been for the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
And then you have insurance and property taxes that are going to shoot through the roof, and you have no income to pay for that. So I'm just trying to give some people some insight, some cautionary tales, some thought process in purchasing that home. And before you make the decision, because here's the thing, people can do whatever they want. I'm just trying to give individuals some extra information to maybe think about something that they wouldn't have thought about and say, hey, you know what? He's right about that. I'm not sure I want to make that decision. Or, hey, you know what? I'm good on that, and I still want to buy a house. Either way, you can do what you want to do, right? That's my whole thing. You can do what you want to do. I'm just on here trying to give you information that I think will help you make a better decision. I am not here telling you don't ever buy a home, or you should don't buy a home. If you buy a home, you're an idiot. Like, I mean, I know a lot of these realtors
Yeah.
are saying that and making
Yeah.
sure and making people feel bad, and not only that, but pushing the FOMO. The FOMO is crazy, man. And it's got to end. The
Yeah.
FOMO has to end.
Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that out.
And part of it ending, I try to tell people, is self-empowerment,
Right.
self-education, figure out what's going on, make your own mind up, don't be lazy. But if I can, Orlando, you said something, I feel like it's really important that people misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not trying to call people stupid for buying right now.
Of
Absolutely
course.
trying to ring caution. And if you are going to buy, prepare. Now, I do believe that there are a small handful of people that it's all right to purchase. Like, I have a subscriber on my channel. He was with me kind of from the beginning. I love this guy, man. I talk to him all the time. He purchased a house, and I was
Mm.
talking to him before the purchase. He's like, Travis, what should I do? And you probably already know what I said, man. I mean, I pushed him in the corner like any friend should. Like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you going to be overextended? I'm pushing him. Now, it was, his thing is, Orlando, and why I was like, all right, brother, like, go for it. It was his dream house. It was his dream house, and he
Right.
had all cash. He didn't have to worry about a mortgage. And he's like, Travis, even if values go down 25%, 20%, this is my dream house, man. this is my dream house. And,
Yeah.
so I gave him love. And then another customer, only two transactions, really. I've only, been a part of kind of on my channel. Another one was Annie. She called me, somehow tracked me down, Orlando. I don't know how this woman found me, man. I try to make it hard to get a hold of. I want people to know I'm not after their business. I'm not trying to close house loans or anything like that. She called me. She's like, Travis, I'm in the medical field. I have all this money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, no consumer debt. I'm in Northern California and I'm renting a room out and I'm getting stressed out of my mind. She's like, my
Mm,
mindset, my peace of mind, mentally, I'm going crazy. She's like, Travis, I want to move to Austin. She's like, I want to move to Austin, Texas. Thank God she did it at the right time, man. And she got great incentives. But, I think for her being so well prepared, I think it was okay for her to buy as well, because I said the same thing to Annie that I told to Jeff. I'm like, Annie, are you prepared to write this out? Are you capable of
mm.
writing this out? Are you capable of a 25% equity swing and being trapped in your house for 10 years? And she's like, Travis, I'm a grown ass woman. Excuse me. She's like, Travis, I'm a grown woman. I know what I want. So I was like, all right, Annie, send it. So, I do believe that, if there's that checklist, 25% of your income goes to your mortgage, no consumer debt, you're, finding a home that you love, you're prepared, you understand that we're on the front of a recession, you understand you possibly are going to lose some equity, probably going to lose some equity, but
Right.
you love the house, send it, buckle down, good luck, see you in 10 years, right? So, I
Yeah.
think that, again, just goes back, Orlando, education, empowerment, and goal setting.
But before we go ahead and go ahead and send you off and not hold you hostage, is I just want to clearly state, guys, is that look, everybody is trying to give you advice on what you should do, how you should do it, and at least when it comes to my channel, and I also think Travis's channel too, Real Estate Mindsets channel, is that it's just super important that we're trying to give you as much information so that you can make the best decision that you can for you and your family. And I think that's really the goal. It's the information, no matter how it's presented, no matter how if it's in lives or regular videos, it's the information that we're providing you guys so that you can make that decision and of buying a house, not buying a house, or sitting on the sidelines waiting, whatever you decide to do. But, I just think that it's way, way, way more important to be cautious in a time like this where there's a lot of uncertainty, right? Nobody knows what's going to happen up, down, sideways. And when things are looking like they are right now, this isn't 2 years ago where everything was just going up and up and up and everything was just moving in the right direction. And it was like that for the last 8-10 years. We're no longer in that age. This is a cycle and no one knows where the cycle is going to go. We can only predict it. We can only guess, right? And that's what we're doing. And so with that being said, you should go in cautiously. That's my opinion. Yours? Any last words?
I would say with just everything that people have heard over the last year or two, I want to end here, Orlando.
Yeah.
Hold on to your hope, number one. And I'm not talking about the false hope. Hold on to the hard working hope, because that will keep you motivated. And the second thing, goals. Don't underestimate
Mm,
how important goal setting is, because your goals will shape your approach. Your goals will keep you on track when you're frustrated. So I would say, don't lose the hope and keep goal oriented. If you're on the sidelines, and obviously, the purchasing power, all of those types of things, credit, income, assets, the normal stuff that I always preach about as well.
right, right. Well, as always, man, I really appreciate you coming onto the channel, man. It was always a pleasure. And we kind of got to the nuts and bolts of this back and forth, crash, don't crash, all that other stuff. So I really appreciate it, man. Hey guys, what I want is for you guys to make sure, like I said earlier, is make sure you go to his channel and subscribe to it and watch his videos. He gives some great information. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. As always, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, I need you to watch this video over here because it will help you understand what's going on in this crazy housing market and get into your first rental property. And I promise you, you will get that information that I will provide to you. It will be gold. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.